Golden Night tomorrow, Plaza, World Enough, Dine Another Day, Condom Solace, Casino Royale. We were doing so well. Welcome to Station CT Cape Town, a James Bond channel. My name is Kyle Peters, head of Station CT Cape Town, and I'm coming at you from the southern tip of Africa, the mother city herself. Now, what is this channel? It is a place where I basically just get to speak in ridiculously geeky detail about all things James Bond. From sharing personal opinions to doing rankings to showing you strange and wonderful talents that I may have in the James Bond realm. We're going to speak about all sorts of aspects of the franchise. It's sometimes going to be me, but I'm also going to have friends from Cape Town, friends from all over the globe, some James Bond fans, some not. Hang around to the end to find out what I've got planned for the next few episodes. It is super niche, which means it's going to be awesome. But today I want to tell you about my strange 007 skill, what I like to call my James Bond party trick. It's not a skill that 007 himself possesses. It's not a skill that anyone in the world would deem useless or is able to save or help anyone whatsoever. It's helpful when you're trying to launch a James Bond YouTube channel. So, my James Bond party trick is naming all 25 Eon-produced James Bond movies in under 12 seconds. Now, 12 seconds comes with a caveat, but today what I want to try and do is see if I can bring it in at under 11 seconds. But first, let me tell you the story about my totally useless, but nonetheless impressive party trick. I won't give you my whole James Bond story for now, but when I was 9 years old, my uncle bought me 3 James Bond VHS tapes for Christmas. They were Goldfinger, Thunderball, and The Living Daylights. The year was 1996. I was just getting into Bond at the time, so these were obviously welcome gifts in my life. And as much as I loved watching these videos, I watched them over and over again, I probably equally enjoyed just enjoying the covers, looking at the back, seeing the photos, reading the things. But probably the thing I loved more than that was this little insert that came in one of the VHSs. It's not identical to the one you're seeing on screen right now, but it's something along those lines. And this insert showed all 16 James Bond adventures that you could collect on VHS up until that point. Now, you must understand, in the pre-internet days of 1996, things like this were absolute gold. You couldn't just go online and Google, give me all 25 James Bond films, in order with year of release. You couldn't just go into ChatGPT and ask it. Although, on that note, I found ChatGPT disturbingly unreliable when it comes to pulling up James Bond anniversaries. It gets release dates wrong all the time. So do not trust ChatGPT, especially with things that you don't know, because it's getting things wrong that I do know. And thank goodness I can catch that kind of, world-altering stuff. Now, I'm pretty sad to say that I don't have this insert anymore. And it's very similar to the one you're seeing on the screen right now, except instead of having 2 rows, mine had 3 rows. So it had Dr. No to On Her Majesty's Secret Service, top row. Then it had Diamonds Are Forever to, I think, Spy Who Loved Me, I'm pretty sure. And then Moonraker to License to Kill. Those were the 3 rows. And I used to look over this thing all the time. You've got to understand as well, you couldn't just go online and just, type in whatever it is. Like, let me see the DVD of Tomorrow Never Dies. No, that wasn't the thing. Like, this was my only gap to see James Bond artwork and posters. Like, this was seeing the movies of what was out there, what was possible. I remember looking at a lot of these covers, especially a bunch of the movies that I had still never seen at this point, and couldn't find. Like, my local VHS store only had like 7 of the James Bond movies, so I still had plenty to discover. And I remember looking at some of the covers and dreaming, based on the titles and what I could see on the covers, what this film might be about or where it might be set. So for some reason, I remember looking at the cover for You Only Live Twice, and based on what I saw, I thought it might be set in Africa. Obviously, I'm very wrong, but that was just the vibe that I remember getting as a 9-year-old kid from looking at that cover. Now, what I did with this insert was treat it like a holy text, and I placed it in my James Bond folder, one of those binder folders with the big rings that you punch holes in and you put your papers in. So I had a whole bunch of papers in this folder. I had a sort of catalog that I got from the James Bond fan club that I never actually joined and became a member, but I got a whole bunch of paper catalog of things you could buy, all the different merchandise that was available. So I had all of that and probably a couple of other things, magazine cutouts. And then on the top, my prized possession, this insert of all 16 James Bond covers from the James Bond 007 VHS collection. And I loved it. And I spent the next 2 to 3 years, like occasionally just looking at these movies. And over time, I got to know the titles pretty well, and I got to know the order of the titles based on that, those 3 lines. Here's a life lesson. I think there is something to be said for reading and interacting with tangible physical stuff, because that helps you remember. Things get just lost on your phone and on your tablet, but when you read a book, when you study something, you remember where it was on that page. And so, again, I don't think in the digital age, I would have maybe trained my brain as well as I did at age 11 for something so important and necessary. And so by age 12, I knew that insert backwards, and I could recite every single James Bond movie in order without referencing the insert. And eventually, after I had nailed that, I realized I needed to take things next level, right? I needed to go Moonraker. I needed to go Die Another Day on this thing. And so I decided, not only am I going to be able to say the movies in order, I'm a pretty fast-talking guy. What if I learn to say them at a ridiculous speed? Now, if you're tracking with me, the year is somewhere around 1999. So at this point, I've had to already extend beyond the insert, and I've had to include GoldenEye, I've had to include Tomorrow Never Dies, and basically, as the next few years rolled on, my talent continued to develop, but I had to add to it with new movies. We went to The World Is Not Enough, Die Another Day, Casino Royale, Quantum of Solace, and then somewhere around 2012, when Skyfall was about to come out. It hadn't come out, but it was about to come out, and James Bond fever was everywhere. That new James Bond novel set in Cape Town, Carte Blanche, had come out a year or so before. It's on my shelf somewhere here. Boom, there it is. We're going to do something about that sometime. I had added all those movies, so I was up to 23 movies, saying them in order super fast, and I decided, cool, I am now going to enter for a Guinness World Record, right? And my friend in primary school always got the Guinness Book of World Records every year. So I used to cruise through those things. I used to enjoy looking at the movie records and this and that. And I knew that in those record books were some bizarro attempts at world records of strange things like how far you can, in fact, this was one, how far you can shoot spaghetti out your nose. And someone had entered in as a Guinness World Record, and they had the honor of holding that record. And I thought, if someone's going to do that, let me enter a world record for something as phenomenal as being able to recite all 25, or at that point 23 James Bond movies in order. And so that's what I did. I went, I recorded a bunch of attempts. I actually put my fastest one on my old YouTube channel at the time, which was just under 12 seconds if I remember. And I don't know if you can still do it, but I went online onto the Guinness World Records and I entered myself as a Guinness World Record. I was like, here's my offering to the world, right? And lo and behold, they got back to me and said I was not the fastest person in the world. Someone else, in fact, if I remember correctly, 2 other people, weirdos, had entered the Guinness World Records for this particular thing, saying all the James Bond movies as fast as you can. Who on earth does that? Who on earth enters that into the Guinness World Records? Apparently 3 people in the world, and I'm the slowest of all of them. I wish I could explain to you the feeling of genuinely thinking you are the best in the world at something, only to find out you're not. And you're not even second best, you're third best. You're not Goldfinger, you're not Silverfinger, you are Bronzefinger. So today, I want to try beat my time. I'm going to challenge myself to at least try get under 12 seconds now. But the caveat is, right, back then when I did it, there was 2 James Bond movies that are now needing to be added to the list, Spectre and No Time to Die. So I want to challenge myself, first of all, to get all 25 in under 12 seconds. And then I just want to go crazy here. let me try and shoot for under 11. I'm going to give a whole bunch of attempts. I'm going to do 5 attempts, okay? I'm going to record it right here on my phone. Let's give it a go. I'll review each one as we go. Some of them might come out completely inaudible, which obviously doesn't help and doesn't count. I may, go brain dead on some of the recordings, which won't help the time. And if any of the attempts aren't audible, they don't count. But I'm going to give 5 shots. If none of them work, I'm going to keep going. But if I've got 1 or 2 usable ones in there that could maybe now, 14 years later, get me into the Guinness World Records, let's see. So that's the plan. You ready? Let's do this. Okay, here we go. I got my recorder there. I'm going to do my best to be as fair to myself and the world as possible. I'm going to hit stop as I do this. Allow me a few warm-ups, okay? Here we go. The James Bond party trick. Ba be be bo boo. That's what they used to teach you in acting class. Ba be be bo boo. Ta 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 tu. Okay, ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3. I feel the pressure. I've never felt the pressure to do this. And let's go. Dr. No from Rushville of Goldfinger Thunderball, you only live twice. No Majesty Secret Service, Diamonds Off, Ever Live and Let Die, The Man with the Golden Gun, The Spy Who Loved Me, Moonraker, For Your Eyes Only, Octopussy, A View to a Kill, The Living Dead, Dust to Kill, Golden Knight, Tomorrow Never Dies, The World's Not Enough, Die Another Day, Casino Royale, Quantum Solace, Skyfall, Spectre, No Time to Die. That says 11:55. Attempt 1, 11:55. Although I think there was one title that I fudged. I didn't get it out. But there's the first one. 11:55. Yep. Let's go again. 3, 2, 1. Dr. No, Ruffle Love, Goldfinger, Thunderball, you only live twice. No Majesty Secret Service, Diamonds Off, Ever Live and Let Die, The Man with the Golden Gun, The Spy Who Loved Me, Moonraker, For Your Eyes Only, Octopussy, A View to a Kill, Living Dead, Assassin Kill, Golden Knight, Tomorrow Never Dies, The World's Not Done Today, Casino Royale, Quantum Solace, Skyfall, Spectre, No Time to Die. Okay, that there was a couple of blurry ones in there. So I've beaten my record. I probably need to slow it down. To just get articulation, exaggerated dialogue. So let's just go again. Kyle, just calm, just slow it down. Let's not even try to attempt to break the record here. Let's just go slower. Dr. No from Rush to Love, Goldfinger, Thunderball, you only live twice. No Majesty Secret Service, Diamonds Are Forever, Live and Let Die, The Man with the Golden Gun, The Spy Who Loved Me, Moonraker, For Your Eyes Only, Octopussy, A View to a Kill, Living Daylights, License to Kill, Golden Knight, Tomorrow Never Dies, The World's Not Enough, Die Another Day, Casino Royale, Quantum of Solace, Skyfall, Spectre, No Time to Die. You see, not as fast. No world record there for sure, 1389. But I'm pretty sure you heard everything. So I mean, you should be impressed. This is impressive. I'm getting 2 films in per second, basically, almost. Okay, let's just try again. Super fast. Here we go. Dr. No, Rush to Love, Goldfinger, Thunderball, you only live twice. The Majesty Secret Service, Diamonds Are Ever, Live and Let Die, The Man with the Golden Gun, Spy Who Loved Me, Moonraker, For Your Eyes Only, Octopussy, View to Kill, Live and Let Die, Assassin Kill, Golden Knight, Tomorrow Never Dies, The World Enough, Die Another Day, Quantum of Solace, Casino Royale. We were doing so well. Dr. No, Rush to Love, Goldfinger, Thunderball, you only live twice. The Majesty Secret Service, Diamonds Off, Ever, Live and Let Die, The Man with the Golden Gun, Spy Who Loved Me, Moonraker, For Your Eyes Only, Octopussy, View to Kill, Live and Die, Assassin Kill, Golden Knight, Tomorrow Never Dies, The World Enough, Die Another Day, Casino Royale, Quantum of Solace, Skyfall, Spectre, No Time to Die. I think that may be audible. I think most of that may be audible. I think all of it's audible. And if that is the case, guys, we have surely this is a new world record, 9:72. Okay, having slowed that last one down and listened to it at half speed, I will concede it's probably not perfectly audible. I'm not going to go and slow down then whatever it was, attempt 3 or 4, but somewhere between attempt 3 and 4 and attempt 5, the two that were pretty good, were decent. We've got, I think, sub 11 and sub 10. And so I am pretty content with my achievement today. Whether it's a world record or not, I do not know. But I'm pretty proud of what I've tried to show you today. It's so much more pressure than I ever thought it would be. There it is, folks. My James Bond party trick. I'd like to end by asking you 2 questions. But before I do that, I'm a brand new YouTube channel. We are a brand new YouTube channel. And so can I ask you to like, subscribe, hit the notification button. That's really going to help Station CT, getting broadcast around the world, help connect to other MI6 operatives and agents. But here's the two questions I'd like to end off with. I'd love to hear from you. So the first one is this: how fast can you name all the Bond films in order? I mean, if you can beat me, fantastic. Enter into the Guinness World Records. I would cheer you on. I'd love to know. Maybe you're one of those two people, right? I'd love to know. And so if that's you, like, just give it your best shot. Put it in the comments. I'd love to hear that. That's the first thing. The second thing is, what is your James Bond party trick? Do you have a useful or useless skill that is somehow related to the world of Bond? If you do, would love to hear about it. Please pop it in the comments. We'd love to. Maybe we could even feature them on this channel. Who knows? Maybe the first 20 videos just end up being bizarro James Bond party tricks from around the world. That wouldn't be the worst thing we could post. That's it from me. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much for tuning in to our basically first episode of Station CT, a Cape Town James Bond channel. Kyle Peters, signing off.